it's Jenny. Welcome to another process video. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just wetting down my paper a little bit. So I've got some watercolor paper, cardstock, and I'm just using these watercolor paints and adding a little bit of water to them and putting some color on my background. So this one's simple little mixed media layout and really effective. So just adding the color there, like I said, to the layout and sprinkling on a little bit, but then I don't like it, so I actually just wet it all down and make it one color. So just hitting it with the heat gun and drying it off a little bit and starting to build up my layout. So I've got these little pieces from a collection. So one of my last videos you saw that very similar, using the same collection, and this was a collection from Kaiser Craft called Hummingbird Collection. This has to be, I would say, 3 or 4 years old perhaps, and it has lots of bright beautiful colors and lots of die cuts and bits and pieces in it. So I have had, like I said, I've had this in my stash for ages and it's time to use things up. So I'm actually challenging myself to use much more of my stash this year. I'm ashamed when I look at how many collections that I have either given to me, that I've won, or that I've purchased. However I've got them, I have got enough to last a long time. So I need to be using some of my stash or giving my stash away and making a bit of a dent in it. So this year, at the moment, I'm getting my hip kit, and I really want to try not to purchase too much. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to purchase anything, because that would be a lie, but I am going to try to yeah, like I said, use my stash. But anyway, that's enough rambling for me. Let's get back onto this layout. So all I've done is add a few rub-ons. So these rub-ons are very old, and like I said in one of my other videos, that when your rub-ons are old, sometimes they don't work very well. So you know, it took me a while. I had to go really slow and be patient with them to try to get them to work. So I've just built up a little border around the left hand side of the photo and underneath with some rub-ons, and now I'm just placing some of the elements around the page and going through, seeing what stickers I want to use and either putting them back on or making use of them. So my lighting, I'm still trying to work on my lighting, and you know, I don't know if it's because I'm using a black and white photo in this photo that the lighting looks off, but yeah, I'm still trying to work on that, so please be patient with the next few videos while I'm trying to work it out, because I've really enjoyed doing a bit of scrapbooking at night time, which I normally can't do, and so maybe it's not so bad and it'll be fine. So at the moment I've just put lots of little pop dots underneath this little flower branch thing, and adding that to the page to give it a little bit of dimension. So because it's pretty flat with the elements on the page, I'm just wanting to make sure that I actually do a few that are raised, so that it doesn't just look like you know, flat elements. I want it to have a little bit of dimension on the page as well. So just trying to work out my title, and it is going to be Best Cat Ever, and just trying to work out where I want to put this best. So these are those beautiful thickers from Dear Lizzie, and they are the beautiful rose gold foiled thickers, which are really thick and give lots of dimension. So this photo here was of my cat Holly, and we had just taken all the sheets off the bed ready to wash them, and she decided to hop on top of the doona cover and, you know, do what cats love to do and make themselves very comfortable and have a snooze. So she is a little sweetheart of a cat, so I thought I may as well do a layout of her looking like a princess on our bed. So nice big bed, and she's a very little cat, so yeah, she looked very cute on there. So not doing much here that you can't tell, still fiddling, still placing elements, and I decided that I wanted to have a little bit of black going on. So I've just pulled out a stamp from Craft. It's a script stamp, and I've used a bit of black ink, and I've just stamped that. And here I go, don't do it this way. I have decided after most of these elements were stuck on that I'm going to outline the edges of the page. It looks like I'm going pretty quick here. Just remember it's sped up by 4. I'm actually going really slow, and it was a pain because those elements that I've stuck up on pop dots, my hand couldn't travel over them smoothly. So, but you know, that's just me. I often do things back to front, and you know, don't decide that I'm going to outline something until towards the end. So, but that's okay. So at this point in time I haven't got a background piece of paper ready, but I do actually use a lovely teal sort of colour background piece of paper excuse me, and I end up outlining that one as well. So just as you saw, there were lots of butterflies on this little sheet, and so I'm just cutting some of the butterflies to bring a bit more of the red in to the page, and a few different sizes as well. So they had some small, medium and larges, which was awesome. So there I am, just spelling out best cat ever, and down the bottom I put her name, which is Holly. And I was just checking, making sure before I started sticking on that I could actually spell her whole name, because there's nothing worse than getting to the end and realizing that you've stuck them all down and you've missed out a letter. So I've just pulled out these stickers, and they were in my hip kit, and they are from Evalicious, and they're little gold and white puffy stickers. So I'm just adding a few little elements of gold to the page and putting these little triangles down. They were really cute, and I end up taking some of them off and putting them up the top as well. So I remove some of the ones down the bottom that are near the flower stem and just put them back onto the sticker sheet. I'm just trying to work some of the word phrases out. There we go, just moving those and finding a place for that sticker. Takes a while, but I end up leaving it there underneath that little butterfly, and it says "Oh so happy," and adding in a couple of the little arrows. And here is where I decide to do a little bit of shading. And the last video that I had done that was very similar to this one with my daughter and her dog, the video had cut out, so you missed me doing this part of it. So you can see this is how I do it. So these watercolour paints are beautiful, and so all I'm doing is adding a little bit of water onto the little paint palette and just adding some shading around areas that I would like to add some shading, and adding a little bit more colour into certain areas of the page, so it just adds a little bit of depth and dimension, and just sussing it out to see what else I might like to add. And this is where I add a piece of paper, so just showing you this piece here. I missed who it was from because I'm just looking at a small screen. I think it was American Crafts, and I'm just adding that. So I'm not bothering about cutting out the middle like I would usually do, because I'm not using it to add any matting to the front of the layout, so I'm happy just to use the whole thing. So here I go, this is where I decide that I'm going to outline that green piece as well. So instead of doing that before, when the top section wasn't stuck on, I've done the difficult way and putting it on at the end. But you know, it works. It's not meant to be perfect, so it's okay if it wobbles. So just adding a little bit more colour and thinking that I'm happy with it. I'm liking the way it looks, and I'm going to put my journaling. So just trying to get the ruler on there because it's got a bit of dimension. So, and I'm just journaling that, you know, we love our cat and how we are happy to have her in our family. So it must be time to pull out my black ink, or not. Okay, so just adding a little bit of a date, so 2015 down the bottom and up the top so that I don't forget about that. And here I go with the black ink splatters. Got to add my black ink to my layout, and that then finishes it off for me. I know that it's finished and I'm happy with the way it goes. So I hope you enjoyed this layout. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!